I'd like to tell you a little story, a true experience that I think reflects the battle of wills that sometimes develops between an aging parent and an equally aging child. And I always talk about this as the story of the Hoyer lift. There was a time when my mother at home used to most nights simply, for some inexplicable reason, slither to the floor in the bathroom. She never fell as such, she just kind of slithered. And so she never hurt herself, but she'd always claimed that she couldn't get up, and being fairly bulky, that was probably true. And my father, who was very slight, couldn't lift her, and the lady who we had living with them wasn't able to help either. So probably 3 nights a week I'd get a call around 11 o'clock at night, living downtown, some distance away, saying, "Can you come and lift your mother?" And sometimes my mother would get on the phone and say, "I'm on the floor, you have to come and lift me." Well, what do? You feel guilt, you feel you've got to be there for them. So I get dressed and I drive up and I get her in a bear hug and rip my back out practically. I get her off the ground, I kind of haul her into her bedroom and get her on the bed, and she'd always touch me and say, "Oh, my son, thank you. You came." Well, I was always very touched and moved, but I realized pretty soon that there seems to be no physical reason for her falling. And I didn't know what options. I started asking neighbors if they'd come over and help, but that was kind of embarrassing to be calling them at 11:30 saying, "Come and lift my mother." I went to the fire department and I said, "Do you have non-emergency calls where I could call you for something like this?" And they said, "Sure, but we don't know whether we'll show up in 10 minutes or 2 hours or whatever. It depends on how busy we are. This is not a priority." That was clear. I didn't know what to do. I went and talked to a geriatrician friend of ours, a nurse, a geriatric nurse. And she said, "Try the Hoyer lift." Well, the Hoyer lift is this contraption that's like a sling, and it comes with a pulley attachment, and you wheel it in, and you put a canvas sling underneath that person. You hook it up to the hook on top, and you can go and you lift them up, and you can take them and push them into wherever you want and lower them. So I rented one of these things, and I took it out to my parents' house, had it delivered, and I said, "Mother, this is the Hoyer lift." Oh, she didn't want to know about it. And I said, "Look, this is what's going to happen. If you fall in the bathroom, I can't come all the time. We're going to use the Hoyer lift." Well, she had nothing to do with it, but I finally demonstrated it to her. I put her in there. I wheeled her up and showed her how it worked. She didn't like it. Well, sure enough, about 2 nights later, my father called and said, "Your mother fell. Can you come and pick her up?" And I said, "No, I can't. I really can't, but we have the Hoyer lift. So you and the lady who's there helping them, you put her in. I showed you how to do it, and you get her into bed." Well, a lot of protestation later, they actually did it and accomplished it. Next night, she was down again. We did the Hoyer lift again. And guess what? She never slithered to the ground again. The slither was really the appeal for the son to come and connect with her, and it was her way of reaching out and wanting the attention and attachment. And it was wonderful, but it just wasn't going to work. And I had to find a way to do it that wasn't painful and hurtful, and in a way I rejected her, but I had to find a way to give myself some room and space. And I discovered the wonderful joy of the Hoyer lift, and my mother discovered, much to her probably unhappiness, the Hoyer lift. But it worked. And the lesson for me really was, we have to find a way to build a balance between what's realistic expectations on my parents' part and what's a reasonable deliverable on my part. You know, I can't live their life for them, but I certainly want to be there to help them. And so this was a bit of a psychological mind game of will, and I guess I won this round, and I think actually all of us are better for it.